I guess everybody's realised that there's no cab on the bass. So yeah, big fan of the red wires cabs, the Ampeg ones, really great. In fact, I've not come across better bass cabs than those ones. All right, so yeah, big fan of C4 on bass. Nothing too heavy duty, just multi-band. Maybe like 4 or 5 dB range sort of compression, multi-band. So just keeps things in line a little bit before it's going into the cab. And
so you're doing that to keep consistency across, for example, the low end or the mid. So sometimes when the bassist, for like the younger people that, or I should say the newer people to mixing, sometimes like when the bassist goes to like a higher octave or register, the fundamentals, so the multi-band keeps it more even across the spectrum.
Because if you've got like a standard compressor that's working the whole range, it's only going to compress firstly off whatever's sticking out, but that's going to change depending on what he's playing. With a multi-band, obviously, it's tackling each band separately, just keeping it in line in its own pocket, a more balanced approach to sort of compressing the bass, because it's not like a drum where it's, you've really got the same sound sort of over and over again. Bass is going to be all over the place, especially if they're adventurous, and they're playing high strings and stuff, and then you're going to get way more high end or way less low end and stuff. So yeah, I'd definitely be choosing multi-band. Wave C4 is great, and Fab Filter Pro MB is really good as well. Both equally good, to be honest. It's just do the job with both. Yeah, red wires, big box, really good cab on the edge of the cap, a couple of inches back. Pretty realistic as well. I've had quite a lot of Ampegs in here, and I'd say it's pretty much exactly what you should expect from an expensive, really heavy to lug around cab. Bands are like, yeah, we got an Ampeg cab. Should we bring it? I'm like, no, don't bring it.
If it's the 8x10, leave that in the truck outside.
I'm always the 8x10. I'm like, if you bring in it, I ain't carrying it. I put my back out once getting one out of a car. Never again, Got a weird metallic rasp to his bass. It's one of those things that regardless of what you recorded, like whether it was a Sans amp or a Dark Glass, or even if it was straight in, you'd still have it because it's just coming from his strings on his fretboard and stuff. So this stuff, this is just get in the way. So I really like about Fab Filter is you can get the dynamics going on with it.
Hey Scott, while you're doing that, question for you, do you know what the chain was for the bass when that was tracked in? Like what preamp?
It was a Dark Glass DI box. I did take a clean DI, but the song got chopped quite heavily, and the bassist ended up just sending me the Dark Glass DI instead. So kind of just moved away from clean DI, one of the Ultra ones. I always like to inspect the sounds and see what's going on, where the problems are, before I start bringing in like, oh, I need a bit more of this. Yeah, it's a bit of a tidy up there, really. Okay, so I'm always missing a bit of mid-range. May have pushed that even harder, actually. It's really, that sort of 800 to 1K sort of range. I mean, this would probably be quite a wide bell, but again, if I find I'm really pushing hard in there, I'd rather duplicate the track and sort of focus on that range in the EQ. I'll show you that in a sec. Bit of brightness, let's get some mid-range in there. Yeah, the mid-range is better on this one than it is on this one. Do a kick my ass a bit. Better. Yeah, so if you're really digging on a frequency range, you do really need to put it back as well. So we're sort of controlling that 3K, but kind of want to put it back in, but in a sort of more pleasant way. Really, quite a fan of this. This is pretty good. Get a good healthy sub boost on this. If you put this output 0. Sort of puts the undercarriage in, like almost like you stood in front of the bass cab, probably 50 hertz around there. Always keep your eye on the 150 with bass, maybe even lower, maybe the 110, all of it really. Good, just. With the mid-range, there's something about the sort of 600 to sort of 1K that really lets you know the bass is in the mix. So what I did was duplicate the track and fairly narrow range here. So there's usually a bit of a hole in guitars where you can exploit the bass a bit and you can hear the detail in what the bass is playing in this area, and you could hard EQ the main track, but you'd be sacrificing the volume of the high and lows as well. So the way I get around it is I've got it maxed, on limiter, because it's obviously we're compromising the volume. But it's level enough now. But a bit of this. It's like that pig frequency. But that's what people are going to hear as the detail of the bass.